Second.
On the question? On the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Suspended resolution, which is resolution number 16. Resolution 2, suspended resolution number 2, which is resolution number 16. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Lancaster has recently adopted the 2025 budget, which was presented on November 18, 2024, and whereas pursuant to New York State Town Law, Section 106, after review of the adopted budget by the Town Board, any changes should be memorialized in writing via resolution and approved by a majority vote of the members of the Town Board. And whereas Supervisor Leary has submitted the adopted budget to Erie County Real Property Tax Services, and after review of the 2025 budget, they have identified an administrative error, which we're correcting tonight, pertaining to the taxable assessed values listed in the adopted budget in comparison to what has been submitted by the Town of Lancaster Assessor. And whereas the difference in the assessed values in the adopted budget versus what has been submitted by Erie County Property Tax has a direct impact on the tax rates, and after updating the assessed values to match what was submitted to Erie County, it has resulted in a decrease in the total tax rate with a summary of corrected changes in the attached schedule. And whereas Erie County Real Property Tax Services has instructed the Town of Lancaster correct the adopted budget to reflect the updated assessed values and tax rates as shown in the attached schedule. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the aforementioned corrections to the 2025 adopted budget permitted following its adoption. Do I have a second?
Second.
On the question, and basically, we're correcting a minor error in the assessments, which should result in $16,000 approximately less taxes being collected. Okay. And on the roll?
Councilmember Burkhart?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Supervisor Leary?
Yes. Okay, that concludes our pre-filed and our do we have a motion? Do we get to do a motion to go out? No. No? Okay, we're good. All right, that concludes our pre-filed and our suspended resolutions. And we're going to go on right now to the presentation of communications by the town clerk. Okay. Communications and reports, 644, received and filed. 645, received and filed. 646, to the town board. 647, received and filed. 648, to code enforcement. 649, to code enforcement. 650, received and filed. 651, received and filed. 652, received and filed. 653, received and filed. 654, resolution on 11/18. 655, resolution tonight. 656, Town Board. 657, Town Board. 658, Planning and Zoning Committee. 659, Planning and Zoning Committee. 660, received and filed. 661, Planning and Zoning Committee. 662, received and filed. 663, to the Town Board. 664, received and filed. 665, received and filed. 666, Planning and Zoning Committee. 667 was received and filed. 668, a resolution tonight. 669, resolution tonight. 670, to the Town Board. 671, received and filed. 672, received and filed. 673, Planning and Zoning. 674, Planning and Zoning Committee. 675, resolution tonight. 676, resolution tonight. And 677, received and filed. Okay, now we come to the point in our town board meetings where we're going to be able to hear from individuals desiring to address the town board on any town of Lancaster subject for a total period of 30 minutes. Okay, the person should raise their hand and be recognized by the supervisor. Give his or her name and address to the town clerk. Speak directly to the town board members, not the audience, using the microphone provided. And speak once for 5 minutes or less, unless the town board grants a speaker an extension of this time limit, and that is generally done by vote. Do we have anybody here who wants to address the town board? Yes, ma'am. Come on up to the podium, and please give your name and address. And then go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Hello. Good evening.
My name is Karen Wheel. I reside at 1 Henslow Way, like
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
1 Henslow Way.
Okay.
Okay, I stood here over a year ago in protest of the Fieldstream Estates development by Forbes Capretto on the north side of William Street, just east of Bowen. Many of us had a laundry list of reasonable concerns about the project, but still this board approved it. I do recall that our current superintendent as to why the project should not be allowed. Unfortunately, he was overruled. Many of our concerns is the placement of the access road being only 125 feet from Avian Way. This type of intersection is one of the most dangerous intersections in the States. Now I understand that with the homes being built by Forbes Capretto on William, that will increase traffic, and they may place a berm in front of or near their access road that will additionally reduce visibility of traffic on William Street and the 2 access roads. Why in this day and age a known dangerous roadway situation would be approved for construction is beyond comprehension, and I do believe it should be rethought. Today I bring to your attention a recently disclosed part of their project. I chose to build my home on the corner of Henslow and Avian specifically for the nearby sidewalk, which many of us use to walk our dogs, and we enjoy the surrounding landscape. Now the community is looking at total destruction of their community entranceway, as Forbes Capretto is insisting on connecting their sewer line to the sewer across William Street at the corner of Henslow and Avian. Their actions are going to destroy the entire community's beautiful entranceway, all of the mature landscaping, beautiful tall trees and shrubs from William to Henslow. It will be gone. The sidewalk will be obliterated. The irrigation system will be torn up. And the Summerwind East community sign will be destroyed. This will impact the value of my home as I am right there. In fact, the easement is about 6 or 8 feet away from my property as I exit my side door. We have been told the area will be left as rough terrain. That means that during the winter, which is difficult already to navigate, it will make it even more difficult and possibly cause a tripping or a falling hazard.
Can I just jump in there for a second? So the sidewalk's going to be gone, it's just going to be left as rough terrain, is that what you're saying?
And the landscaping
Okay, thank you.
will all be gone. It's just going to be left rough. To pour salt in the wound for our entire community, Forbes Capretto has not agreed to pay for the full restoration of what they destroy. They want our community of 55 homes to take on that expense. This is outrageous and unjust. This multi-million-dollar company should be ashamed of its actions, and the town of Lancaster needs to intervene, as obviously Forbes Capretto does not want to do the right thing. Additionally, they are boring under William Street to run the sewer line, and they have failed twice in this effort. What kind of damage may they be doing to the integrity of the street's infrastructure? How do we know if the sewer line could ever need to be dug up again? How do we know that this will not increase the flow of excess groundwater over to our community? There are so many reasonable concerns. It is many's opinion that they need to connect to the sewer from Bowen Road. If Forbes Capretto continues with this plan, they need to supply a written commitment for a 100% restoration project to our community for review and approval prior to excavation beginning. This needs to include detailed plans and an architectural landscape design with a time frame for the repair of what they destroy. Additionally, our community's attorney fees should be reimbursed by Forbes Capretto, because if they were acting in good faith like a responsible, ethical business, these legal actions could have been prevented.
Okay, can I stop you for 1 second? Just, that's 5 minutes. I vote she'd be allowed to continue. I'm guessing she
Yeah.
represents the group here.
Well, I have another 12 pages.
Councilmember Schroeder?
I'm kidding.
What's that?
I have another 12 pages. No, I'm kidding. Kidding.
Okay, please continue, thank you.
Let's see here. Additionally, the area should be properly fenced off to prevent any attorneys versus our attorneys. It is my recollection that this town board approved this project because they were afraid that Forbes Capretto would sue the town if the town did not approve their project. Well, all you succeeded in doing is moving the pain to the citizens of this town. My question to all of you is, what are you going to do to help with this debacle?
Well, I think we need to look into this a little bit further. Are they, well, first, Matt, Ed, comments?
Yeah, I've already had extensive conversations with the Erie County's Division of Sewer. Yeah, I've already had extensive conversations with the Erie County's Division of Sewer. It's their easement, it's their sewer, they approved it. The town didn't have anything to do with that. All reconstruction will be done by the contractor when he's done. And the reason they're hugging the sidewalk is to avoid all the landscape. They don't want to destroy the landscaping. There's some pretty good sized pine trees out there. And so the alignment of the sewer is down the sidewalk. So the sidewalk will come out, sewer will go in, they'll put the sidewalk back. All at the expense of the contractor. I talked to representatives from the sewer district last week, and he assured me that's what's happening.
How about the berm and the landscaping?
They will be between where your line of pine trees are and the edge of the road, basically, if you want, just for an area, which is, would avoid the trees. The trees right now are in the easement. That's between the sewer district and the homeowners association.
When did, may I ask?
The plan was always to avoid those trees. That was why they hugged the sidewalk so tight.
You'll get a chance in a minute. They can't hear you online in the live streaming unless you come up here.
Answer some of this. I'm part of the board.
Well, let Ed finish.
So, I mean.
And Mr. Fiscio,
yeah, I mean,
we'll bring you up.
So the
to,
sewer district
also
is very
speak.
aware of the issue out there. It's their easement, their permit. The town doesn't control the sewers, it's done by the county.
I understand that, but I was told that the easement was granted by the town.
No.
When we talked with the construction company about a month ago,
Forbes Construction Company?
yes,
Okay.
they told us that landscaping would be gone because their machines,
They don't have any authority to say anything. It's between the Erie County Sewer District and Forbes. I wouldn't worry about the contractor.
so the landscaping will not be,
The intent is not to touch the landscape.
that would be very good. But I also think that they need to fence off that area for the winter.
That's fine, and I can talk to the district about that, and that's typically, I mean, typically they'll fence off their construction area anyways for their own liability purposes. They don't want people walking through there.
Is there a reason why they won't put in writing that they will 100% restore what they do destroy?
I be honest with you, I don't know what's in writing between Forbes and the sewer district. If
I meant between Forbes and Summerwind East.
again, that's up to the sewer district. It's the sewer district's right of way, or easement, I'm sorry.
Okay. Because they won't put anything in writing.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. The town has no involvement with that. It's between the county division of sewer and the developer. Because the easement is with the county division of sewer.
Okay.
It's like if NYSEG or the gas company had an easement through there, the town would have nothing to do with it.
May I ask if they told you why they're failing at boring under William?
That's being addressed, I've had that conversation with the sewer district, and they're addressing that also.
Could they be doing damage to that street, the infrastructure below that street?
Unknown. If they do, they have to repair it. That's at their cost.
Because we also have drainage on the other side of our berm that we are concerned about.
Everything has to be restored to pre-construction conditions.
Has to be,
Has to
by law.
Has to.
So, okay.
And if it's not, who
The contractor's responsible. He has bonds. That's why he puts up bonds.
who is able to come down on the contractor to make sure that they,
Well, part of the sewer would be the sewer, division of sewer.
okay.
Now, the
Has their own inspectors out there.
okay.
We're checking in with them just to make sure, but yeah, they have their own inspection staff out there.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you telling me this here verbally, that's the way it'll be?
Yeah, I mean, I said, the entity to touch base with is the Erie County Division of Sewer, District 4.
And I believe he was out there.
Frank
taking-
Tadaro,
Frank
something
Tadaro.
in writing to our
Just-
HO. The irrigation system is about $5,000 already that was torn out.
Well, if they're supposed to fix and put everything back in place, you shouldn't have to absorb any cost.
Well, it's
And
obvious,
again-
it's obviously not being conveyed to our homeowners association.
Is your attorney here tonight too, or? you guys have
No,
an
I'm
attorney?
sorry, other than the couple of board members from the HOA,
Okay, we'll bring
I'm
them up in a second.
I'm kind of on my own,
Okay.
yeah, new information. I'm glad to hear it. I'm very glad to hear it. And so Frank Tadaro,
Yes.
speak
correct.
to him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
everyone.
Yes, sir.
She gave a very good presentation. My name is Craig Sauter, 27 Sedge Run. I'm on the board, okay? I met with Pat Breyer last week. This was the first time, no idea of this. That is shameful, okay? Didn't come down from downtown to him, and he's part of their management, okay? He went out there, and yes, there are several problems. The drawings were poorly done. Did you review the drawings?
No, the downtown Division of Sewer.
Okay, so anyway, the drawings barely indicate the sidewalk, let alone all the shrubbery, the trees that would be removed. And yes, they are in the easement, okay? And yes, according to him, but this is news to me, because now this is on record that you're saying that the sewer authority is saying, hey, they got to replace this. This has all been iffy to us. This is why we've been pushing, okay? Because the contractor, he doesn't want to do it. We have, okay? And after speaking with Pat Breyer, who is a really knowledgeable person, that means that they can't put that pipe there. They had to move west.
correct.
Before that, they would have been in over near the shrubs. Now they're west, more to the center of the sidewalk, and that's probably what he told you.
Yep, yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Now, we just found that out Tuesday, which is good news that you're saying. Before that, he was saying he was going to have to talk to the contractor because no way does the sewer management let a contractor dig something up and walk away. Yet the contractor is telling us, and we're nerved up about it, that they're going to walk away. And that's what they're saying. So the sewer authority is saying no, but the drawings weren't accurate. So that's shameful, okay? And this is where I believe you're looking into new codes.
Well, again, that's all controlled by the Division of Sewer, so.
Right, but does the town look these over? This is a question of mine.
I review all the plans, and something like that where I know there's another party reviewing it, I'll do a cursory review, but I know it's being reviewed because it's their infrastructure. And then my responsibility is to make sure they reviewed it and signed off on it before we approve it.
Wow. So somebody missed the ball on this one because there was no detail
Yeah.
in regards to this. Had there been detail, and anybody that works in engineering knows what I'm talking about, we wouldn't be here right now because it would have been detailed and spelled out that this had to be
Yeah, I was
done.
surprised Pat hadn't seen it.
So was I, and he was livid about it, okay? And that just means from the top didn't send it down to him, that's all I can say.
Right.
But in any event, hearing this, and we all heard it, I don't know if it goes into the minutes, but the contractors, I have to mention that. The contractor's liable to put everything back the way it is, am I correct?
Yeah, well, especially, yeah, and as they get to the sidewalk, the sidewalk is actually the town's, or in the town right away, I should say. And that is most definitely be put back where it is.
I got a good one for you. The contractor stood there and, oh, we don't have to replace the sidewalk. And we all know better than that. But when you hear that verbally, that just compounds the issues. okay?
Absolutely.
He's just stirring up the pot. So we want to just make sure that all of those nice trees, okay, and shrubbery, but the trees and the berms are replaced at their cost. And
Yeah,
it's substantial.
And based on the conversation with Pat, I don't expect those to be even touched.
So do I, but depending on the operator of that backhoe, yes, okay? And I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir?
My name is Michael Harris, 15 Sedge Run. I am also a member of the Summer Winds East Board of Managers. And I'd also like to acknowledge that Chris Werner, our president of the HOA Board of Managers, is present as well. I want to first thank Mr. Fischone and Supervisor Leary for taking the interest in this and actually visiting the site to see some of our concerns firsthand. It's very much appreciated. If you were out there, Mr. Schiller, I apologize for not.
We're out there almost daily.
Thank you. One of my bugaboos is the fact that there's no transparency here. We have not received anything in writing from Forbes Capretto. I don't trust a developer any written notification. Now, in regards to replacement of the berms and the shrubs, that's all well and good that they can say, we'll restore it. Those trees and shrubs are about 5 years old with like shrubs. They came in with an estimate of $12,500 to replace the shrubs. My career was in lawn and garden. I have a very good relationship with every nursery and garden center in this area. What I don't want to see is them coming in with 4 to 5 foot blue spruce. Presently, the blue spruce on site are 12 feet tall. They can be replaced by 8 to 10 feet tall blue spruce at a substantial increase in cost. But that's what we're looking for. We're looking for with like replacements. Don't tell me you're going to come in there with 4 to 5 foot blue spruce. That's not what you're replacing. You're replacing 8 to 10 foot blue spruce. They reduce the noise from William Street for the homeowners on Henslow. It's the lack of transparency on the part of the developer that really gets my goat. So again, I'd like to thank, well, I have one question. What were the 2 violations for their boring or
Trying to bore, they hit obstructions, whether it was rock or whatever, but they weren't able to get the bore straight through.
and why is it so difficult to get written, something down in writing, instead of just verbal? You all know what verbal approvals do. They're not worth the breath that the person used to express them, are they?
I'm in business. I don't do formal.
You put everything in writing, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Why isn't the developer held to that standard as well?
I don't know, I would definitely talk to Frank Dodaro about this.
I have,
Okay,
thank you. I have been in contact via phone with his administrative assistant, and I understand he visited
Yep.
the site. I've been in contact with the Erie County Sewer Authority and made them aware of our concerns. But again, give us an email or something. I mean, come on, throw us a bone. That's all we're looking for, something so that we can hold them to what they say they're going to do.
don't blame you. I'd want the same.
Are they held to that moratorium by any chance, or was that because it was approved?
It was approved
Prior.
before the moratorium went into place.
Okay.
Went into effect.
All right,
So-
very good. But again, Mr. Fischone, Mr. Leary, we appreciate your support. We wish that the other, town board members also express their concern for the residents. We don't have the money as an HOA. We've only been an HOA for 4 years. We don't have the reserves to pay for this. And to put the burden on the homeowners of the community is outrageous, especially when you're dealing with a multi-million-dollar Forbes Capretto home developer. And I guess from conversations our management company has had with our attorney and the Forbes Capretto, this isn't the first time that they tried to pull a bullying tactic on residents currently. So grow a pair of cojones and stand up to these guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good job. I just want to add just a quick thing.
Could you come up to the microphone, sir?
How are you today?
Good.
My name's Chris Werner. I'm the president of the HOA. I live at 7 Sedge Run. And Craig and Mike did a great job of explaining this situation. Just to put a dollar value to replace what they would do if they damaged those full berms, we got quotes, and it came to around $24,000. So that's not including any sidewalk or anything. That's the sprinkler system, putting in the trees that Mike mentioned, restoring it to what it is now. So it's a significant dollar amount that we're talking here, and it's important that it's noted that it's that significant, and then we'll have to work on getting that put in something so that so it's restored at what we consider restored. We don't want them restoring it what they consider restored. They're going to go low and cheap it. You know, we want it done if they do damage it, and, you know, based on the size of the boring hole that they were describing, I'll be surprised if they don't. I really will, in some way, damage what that berm is. So I think it's just got to be noted that it's got to be restored to our specifications and not theirs. That's the biggest thing, so, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Jim Buzio, 3 Henslow, Karen's neighbor, and I agree with everything that's already been said. I have one additional concern, and that gets actually into the sewer. As you're exiting Avion, direct onto William, straight ahead on the north side of William is where they put the hole in to start boring. That was a very deep hole, not sure whether it was 4 or 6 feet deep. It was big enough where they had to have the trench box in there to shore it up so that the guys who were trying to do the boring were going to be safe. They left that open, got to be a couple of days, and it's like, wait, no activity, no activity. Let's see, it was a week before Thanksgiving week. Finally, my wife called your office, and very was efficiently told, call the sewer authority, which she did. She called, and the sewer authority indicated that, gee, one of your neighbors called just a few minutes ago, and they were out probably within a half hour. Somebody from the sewer authority, I believe they talked to Karen and Diane, and that was great. by mid-afternoon that they had filled a hole in, but not all the way. There's still a hole. As I looked at it now and going forward in particular, because I share all these concerns with Forbes Capretto, lack of transparency and basically, hey, we got this passed, we'll ignore this, we'll ignore that, what are the homeowners going to do and the neighboring homeowners? What type of oversight is the town going to have for us in terms of those safety things? I mean, it's fine to say that, okay, the sewer authority's got this, somebody's got that. Who has the overall responsibility for checking to make sure that Forbes Capretto is living up to what they told the town that they were going to do in order to get the whole project approved?
Matt?
Well, thank you. I mean, without going through the entire approval process.
No, I'm not, what I'm looking at is,
Sure.
are there regular inspections?
There are.
Just the fact that now, the plow came through, so now that particular pit is no longer properly marked. And, you got to kind of think from the PR standpoint for the town. The weather's crappy, it's icy out there, that Lancaster school bus coming right out of Avian, right across there, looks great on, Channel 4 News or whatever. So there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of moving parts. I'm also looking, the enormous topsoil piles there, they look great. Are we going to be having dust storms in the summer? I guess my real question is, who do we contact? Who's riding herd on this whole thing?
Code enforcement would be riding herd on this. You can call them, or you can, with the assistance of the town engineer, helping out, but they are out there doing regular inspections, keeping an eye on what's going on.
Okay, so
And they'll be talking specifically to the developer and telling him if there's an issue, they have to resolve the issue. They'll write them up different areas if they don't. So, yeah, it would be code enforcement from
Okay.
our perspective. And of course, he'll bring everything to the attention of the town board if we got to take some type of action through our town attorney, et cetera.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anybody else want to be heard?